Hello and welcome. The divided island of Cyprus has become one of the long-running unresolved issues of the Mediterranean. For Greek Cypriots in the south and Turkish Cypriots in the north, the prospect of reunification is one that's raised from time to time. But so far no consensus has been reached on how that might happen. Cyprus gained independence from Britain in 1960 only to witness an escalation of violence between the Greek majority and the Turkish minority. In 1974, Turkey invaded and soon took control of more than one-third of the island. In 1983, the Turkish-held area declared itself an independent state under the name the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, but that's only recognized by Turkey, upon whom Turkish Cypriots remain dependent for both economic and political support. On today's show, we look at where things stand for the people of Cyprus with a perspective from the Greek Cypriot side. Joining me from Nicosia is the Cypriot Foreign Minister, Kozakou-Marcoullis. Minister, good to have you with us.
Mr. Khan, it's a pleasure really to be with you and with all those viewers in the United States and around the world.
Thank you, ma'am. I want to start off by getting your perspective, the Greek Cypriot side really, on where things stand as far as the prospects for reunification. From your side, where do you see the chance of this ever happening now?
We are optimistic that a solution will be found based on the many decisions adopted by the United Nations over the years. This problem is an international problem. It's a problem of foreign occupation. It's a problem of invasion, but also it's a problem that involves human rights violations. It's a problem of expulsion of people from their homes, and it's a problem of illegal settlement. So there are many similarities with the Palestinian issue, and this is why we have so many friends within the Arab world that can share with us these principles that have to be applicable not only to the Palestinian issue but also to the Cyprus question.
Now, Minister, why do you think, as far as the sort of international community is concerned, it's not an issue that's been high priority? At least we don't see it much in the media. Why do you think the issue of divided Cyprus really remains in the background?
The principles for the solution of the Cyprus problem have been adopted over the years through over 100 resolutions that have been adopted by the United Nations, General Assembly resolutions, and Security Council resolutions. Also, there are many decisions and judgments of the European Court of Human Rights that solve the problem of human rights violations and the problem of the refugees and their properties. What remains really to be done is implementation of these resolutions and of these judgments of the European Court of Human Rights by one country, and that is the Republic of Turkey, because Turkey has been violating over the years the sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity of the Republic of Cyprus, with the 43,000 troops that it maintains on the territory of an independent member state of the United Nations and also a member state of the European Union. 37% of our territory, one-third of our territory, remain occupied by these troops of the Republic of Turkey. And one-third, 1 in every 3 of the Greek Cypriots are refugees in their own country. So it remains for Turkey to fully respect the resolutions that have been adopted by the international community and also to fully implement the judgments, the many judgments adopted by the European Court of Human Rights.
Now, Minister, we had an email, if I may put this to you, describing some of the resolutions, but this email that came in from Ghana, a viewer doesn't give his name, but the viewer from Ghana says, since the referendum was rejected, referring to 2004, what levels of talks have taken place between Greek and Turkish sides?
There were a number of efforts since 2004 to reach an agreement, and in fact last year in July of 2006 we reached an agreement with the leader of the Turkish Cypriot community, and also we reached a very important agreement on the procedure that has to be followed in order to start accession, to start negotiations between the two communities. Unfortunately, 15 months have elapsed since reaching that very important agreement, and we have not had any negotiations. On the other hand, recently we have observed, and we still observe, a reluctance on the part of the leader of the Turkish Cypriot community to abide by his signature and the agreement that we have reached. And on the other hand, we have seen a very serious deviation of the position of the Turkish government from a federal, bizonal, bicommunal federal solution to a two-state solution. Even today is a very tragic anniversary of the unilateral declaration of a so-called separate state 24 years ago. And even today, the Deputy Prime Minister of Turkey, Mr. Çiçek, who was in the occupied area, he again repeated this position of Turkey in support of two separate states. That was first proclaimed by Mr. Gül, the President of the Turkish Republic, a few weeks ago when he came to the occupied area. And he spoke about the solution based on two separate states and two religions.
Now, Minister, you know, Kofi Annan, the UN Secretary General, at the time of the 2004 referendum on reunification, said it was a historic opportunity that was missed. Nearly two-thirds of Turkish Cypriots voted for reunification, while three-quarters of the Greek Cypriot side voted against. Now, was the issue of the right of return of property the main block as far as you were concerned?
One of the main obstacles was the right to return, the right to property, but also security issues, very important security issues. For example, while previous drafts of the Annan Plan provided for the complete withdrawal of Turkish troops from the territory of the Republic of Cyprus, the finalized draft of the Annan Plan, which was the result of arbitration, and this is very important to mention. It was not the result of agreement between the two communities, it was the result of arbitration. It provided for the permanent stationing of troops on the on a federal Cyprus, and this is something totally unacceptable to the Greek Cypriots. We cannot foresee any permanent stationing of troops, foreign troops, on our soil. What we can accept is an international force, a UN force or an international force that will be stationed on the island to observe the implementation of the solution. But definitely we cannot accept that Turkish troops, the very troops that invaded our island and the very troops that have been dividing, keeping our island divided and our people divided, we cannot accept that they will be stationed on the island.
Right. We had an email that came in from Qatar, again anonymous email from Doha in Qatar, saying although the Turkish side accepted the Annan Plan, they are punished and still isolated. Meanwhile, the Greek side is in the EU. It's not fair. I want you to comment on that, but I also ask you, to what extent do you feel that Cyprus's accession to the European Union has strengthened this Greek Cypriot position, and certainly in terms of its demands on how the Turkish North should behave when it comes to the reunification agreement?
Now, regarding the Annan Plan, I already mentioned that this is a plan that was the result of arbitration and was not the result of agreement. It was not the result of negotiations. So during the arbitration process, the Secretary General took on board all the concerns of one side, and he completely neglected the concerns of the other side. So this is why this totally Turkish-tailored plan was supported by the Turkish Cypriot community. Now, mind you also that in the Turkish Cypriot vote, 60% of the voters were settlers from Turkey. So this was not a plan that was the result of an agreement, and this was a plan which was tailored to be supported by Turkey and by those voting in the Turkish side. Now, regarding this myth of isolation, The Turkish Cypriots are not isolated. They are citizens of the Republic of Cyprus. I would say that 90% of the Turkish Cypriots have already a Cyprus Republic passport, and they can share all the benefits of the European Union citizenship and all the membership of all the benefits of our membership in the European Union. They are free to work in any part of the Republic of Cyprus, and they have already increased their per capita income during the 3-4 years of our membership in the European Union by 300%, from $4,000 in 2003. Now they have a per capita income of $12,000, and we are very glad about that. And we have contributed as the Republic of Cyprus towards improving the economic standing of our Turkish Cypriot compatriots. I just want to mention here that we are in favor of reunification. We are in favor, and we will continue to be in favor, of coexistence between Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots. We are in favor of rapprochement between the two communities. This is our common homeland, and we have to find a way to live together.
Minister, I wonder how much is the situation complicated by the fact that there's been a lot of property being bought up in northern Cyprus by Europeans, by people from outside, a lot of British people buying in northern Cyprus. How is that going to affect the whole issue of the right to return of property and people?
This is a very serious negative development, and many times I have characterized this development as the third phase of the invasion. The first phase I consider the actual occupation of territory and the expulsion of people. The second phase was the introduction of settlers from Turkey, and I think people in the Arab world can understand the consequences of illegal settlement of occupied territories. And the third phase now taking place is this illegal exploitation and selling of the properties of the Greek Cypriots.
Minister, we had an email that came from Ahmed in Algiers, in Algeria. And what Ahmed is asking here is, what is the role of the USA in exercising pressure on Turkey to solve the issue as it's been doing in other parts of the globe? I wonder, I mean, in a more global sense, what is the US doing in terms of getting involved in this issue of divided Cyprus?
Very simply, I would say not enough. The United States, as well as the United Kingdom, who are the two permanent members of the Security Council that can play an important role towards influencing Turkey, which is the primary source of this problem, the problem of occupation and the problem of forcible division of our country and our people, have not done enough towards exercising this influence and pressure on the Republic of Turkey. Turkey is an ally of the United States and of the United Kingdom, and unfortunately both these countries have not done enough in order to put pressure on Turkey to implement the many resolutions adopted by the United Nations and put an end to their illegal occupation of Cyprus.
Now, Minister, we had an email from Gubby in Ireland, and Gubby here asks, or says, Greek or Turkish, they are still Cypriots. Forget religion and base politics on everyday life. One man, one vote, share and share alike. Can you imagine that kind of power sharing on the island?
We don't have a problem with power sharing. This is why we have adopted federation, which was totally unthinkable before 1974, because Cyprus was always a unitary state. It was a country that was inhabited by Greek Cypriots, Turkish Cypriots, living in the same villages, living in the same towns throughout the island. There was no area which was Greek or Turkish. There were 110 mixed villages scattered around the country. It was only when Turkey invaded and ethnically cleansed the occupied area and expelled all the Greek Cypriots from the occupied area that we reached the point that we have today of the division of the island and the division of the people. So we have accepted painfully a federal system, a bizonal and bicommunal federal system. For us, this was our most painful concession, but we reached this agreement, and we are committed towards making this a reality. So we do not have any problem of sharing power with the Turkish Cypriots within a federal system, a workable federal system that will respect human rights, because this is cardinal within the European Union, to respect human rights, and also to be a functional system within a European Union environment, since now we are members of the European Union.
Minister, you know, one thing you'll have to face, of course, in the issue of reunification is dealing with the sort of lingering bad blood that does exist sometimes when conflicts. We had an email that came from the United Arab Emirates, and here a viewer wrote in saying, how about the thousands of Turkish Cypriots killed by Greek Cypriots and Inosis before 1974, which prompted Turkey's actions to save lives in the first place? How will you get past this kind of the bad blood that lingers?
There was suffering on both sides of the Greek Cypriot community and the Turkish Cypriot community, but we have to look to the future. We owe it to the new generations of Cypriots, to the Greek Cypriots and to the Turkish Cypriots. If we remain in the past and cannot move forward, this will not be helpful, and this will not solve our problems. And this is why Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots, our young people, and the two communities together, they have to build a Cypriot solution, a solution that will be acceptable to both communities and that both communities can feel comfortable living in. And this is why we are committed to a federal solution, and we hope that Mr. Talat, the Turkish Cypriot leader, but primarily Turkey, will allow this to happen. Unfortunately, Turkey, the Turkish president, the Turkish military, as I said earlier, they have moved away from a federation, and now they support a two-state solution, which is totally unthinkable.
Well, Minister, here we have to end it. Thank you very much for joining us with us and joining us and speaking on this issue.
Okay, thank you very much, and let's hope that through the support of the international community, through the support of all our friends around the world, in the Arab countries, but also in the rest of the world, we will achieve reunification of Cyprus and coexistence between Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots.
Thank you, ma'am. And thank you for being with us. On the next show, we speak with the French academic Olivier Roy, who argues against the popular notion of an Islamic threat in the West and believes that Islam can be integrated into French society, or any liberal society for that matter. Don't forget, if you have any thoughts about pressing issues around the world, just send your emails to riz@aljazeera.net. We'll see you next time. Street Talk is next.